I pray you tell me where a lovely maiden dwelleth named Yum Yum, the ward of Cow. In pity speak, oh speak, I pray you.
Why, who are you who ask this question?
Come, gather round me, and I'll tell you. A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and tattoos, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby. My catalogue is long through every passion ranging, and through your humours changing, I tune my supple song, I tune my song. But if patriotic sentiment is wanted, I've patriotic ballads cut and dried. For wherever country's banner may be planted, all other local banners are defied. Our warriors in serried ranks assemble, never quail or they conceal it if they do. And I shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble before the mighty Chinook, the troops of Titipu. And if you call for a song of the sea, we'll heed the capstan around. With a yeo-heave-ho for the wind is free, our anchors are trip and our hands are lee. Hurrah for the homeward bound. Yeo-heave-ho, hurrah for the homeward bound. 'Twill lay aloft in a howling breeze, may tickle our landsman's taste. But the happiest part a sailor sees is when he's down at an inland town, with his Nancy on his knees. Yo-ho! He's all around her waist. And the cats will all be gone, and the billows ring the ground. With a yo-he-ho and a rum-he-ho, hurrah for the homeward bound. With a yo-he-ho and a rum-he-ho, go-ho-ho, go-ho-ho, hee-ho-hee-ho-hee-ho. Of threads and tattoos, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby, and dreamy lullaby.
Very nice. And what may be your business with Yum Yum?
I'll tell you. A year ago, I was a member of the Titipu Town Band. it was my duty to take the cap round for contributions. Whilst discharging this delicate office, I saw Yum Yum. We loved each other at once, but she was betrothed to her guardian, Coco, a cheap tailor, and I saw that my suit was hopeless. Overwhelmed with despair, I quitted the town. Judge of my delight when I heard a month ago that Coco had been condemned to death for flirting. I hurried back at once in the hope of finding Yum Yum at liberty to listen to my protestations.
It is true that Coco was condemned to death for flirting, but was reprieved at the last moment and raised to the exalted rank of Lord High Executioner under the following remarkable circumstances, which I am at liberty to divulge to you in the form of a song. A great Mikado, virtuous man, when he to rule our land began, resolved to try a plan whereby young men might best be steadied. So he decreed in words succinct that all who flirted, leered or winked, unless connubially linked, should forthwith be beheaded, 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 should forthwith be beheaded. And I expect that you'll agree that he was right to so decree. And I am right, and you are right, and all is right as right can be. And you are right, and we are right, and all is right as right as right can be. And all is right as right can be. Right as right can be. Decree you'll understand, caused great dismay throughout the land, for young and old and shy and bold were equally affected. The youth who winked a roving eye, or breathed a non-connubial sigh, was thereupon condemned to die. He usually objected, 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 he usually objected. And you'll allow, as I expect, that he was right to so object. And I am right, and you are right, and everything is quite correct. And you are right, and we are right, and everything is quite correct. And everything is quite correct. All is quite correct. And so we straight let out on bail a convict from the county jail, whose head was next on some pretext condemned to be mown up, and made him headsman, for we said who's next to be decapitated cannot cut off another's head until he's cut his own up, his own up, his own up, until he's got his own up. And we are right, I think you'll say, to argue in this kind of way. And I am right, and you are right, and all is right to lure and lay. And you are right, and we are right, and all is right to lure and lay. And I am right, and you are right, and all is right.
The chief tailor, Lord High Executioner of Titty-Poo. Why, that's the highest rank a citizen can attain.
It is. Logical Mikado, seeing no moral difference between the dignified judge who condemns a criminal to die and the industrious mechanic who carries out the sentence, has rolled the two officers into one, and every judge is now his own executioner.
But how good of you, for I see that you're a nobleman of the highest rank, to condescend to tell all this to me, a mere strolling minstrel.
Don't mention it. I am, in point of fact, a particularly haughty and exclusive person of pre-Adamite ancestral descent. You will understand this when I tell you that I can trace my ancestry back to a protoplasmal primordial atomic globule. Consequently, my family pride is something inconceivable. I can't help it. I was born sneering.
but I struggle hard to overcome this defect. I mortify my pride continually. When all the great officers of state resigned in a body because they were too proud to serve under an ex-tailor, did I not unhesitatingly accept all their posts at once?
And the salaries attached to them, you did.
It is consequently my degrading duty to serve this upstart as First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chief Justice, Commander-in-Chief, Lord High Admiral, Master of the Buckhounds, Groom of the Backstairs, Archbishop of Titipu and Lord Mayor, both acting and elect, all rolled into one, and at a salary. A poobah paid for his services. I, a salaried minion, but I do it. It revolts me, but I do it.
And it does you credit.
But I don't stop at that. I go and dine with middle-class people on reasonable terms. I dance at cheap suburban parties for a moderate fee. I accept refreshment at any hands, however lowly. I also retail state secrets at a very low figure. For instance, any further information concerning Yum Yum would come under the head of a state secret. Another insult. And I think a light one. Young man, despair likewise go to. Yum Yum affair you must not do. It will not do, I'm sorry for you, you very imperfect ablutioner. This very day from school, Yum Yum will wend away and homeward come with a beat of drum and a rum-tum-tum to wed the Lord her executioner. And the brass will crash and the trumpets spray, and they've cut to dash on their wedding day. She'll toddle away as all other with the Lord her executioner.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets play, and they've cut to dash on their wedding day.
She'll toddle away as all other with the Lord her executioner. It's a hopeless case, as you may see, and in your place away I flee. But don't blame me, I'm sorry to be of your pleasure a diminutioner. They'll file their fact extremely soon. In point of fact, this afternoon, a honeymoon with that buffoon at 7 commences, so you shut her. And the brass will crash and the trumpets spray, and they'll cut to dash in the wedding day. She'll toddle away as all other with the Lord her executioner.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets play, and they'll cut to dash on their wedding day.
She'll toddle away as all other with the Lord her executioner.
And have I journeyed for a month or nearly to learn that Yum Yum, whom I love so dearly, this day to Coco is to be united.
The fact appears to be as you've recited. But here he comes, equipped as suits his station. He'll give you any further information.
taken from the county jail by a set of curious chances, liberated then on bail, on me own recognizances, wafted by a favouring gale, as one sometimes is in trances, to a height that few can scale, save by long and weary dances, surely never had a male under such like circumstances, so adventurous a tale which may rank with most romances, taken from the county jail by a set of glorious chances, surely never had a male so adventurous a tale. Give her to the Lord High Executioner. Give her to the Lord, to the Lord High Executioner. To the Lord High Executioner. Give her to the
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Tittypudlians, I am much touched by this generous reception. I can only trust that by sincere attention to duty, I shall ensure a continuance of those favours which it will be ever my study to deserve. If I am ever called upon to act professionally, I am happy to think that there will be no shortage of people whose loss will be a distinct gain to society at large.
As someday it may happen that a victim must be found, I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed. They never would be missed. There's weightlifters and bodybuilders, people of that sort. Bank robbers who retire to Spain the minute they get caught. Bishops who don't believe in God, chief constables who do. All people who host chat shows and the guess what's on 'em too. And customs men who fumbling through your underwear insist. I don't think they'd be missed. I'm sure they'd not be missed.
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list. And then none of them be missed. Then none of them be missed.
There's the people with pretentious names like Justin, Trish and Rolf, and the gynecologist. I've got him on the list. All muggers, joggers, buggers, floggers, people who play golf. They never would be missed. They never would be missed. All waitresses who make you wait, accountants of all kinds, and actresses who kiss and tell and wiggle their behinds, and poncy little singers who to entertain us try by dressing up like women and by singing far too high, and who on close observance must be either stoned or pissed. I don't think they'd be missed. I'm sure they'd not be missed.
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list. And then none of them be missed. Then none of them be missed.
There's the beggars who write letters from the Inland Revenue and the gossip columnist. I've got him on the list. All critics and comedians and opera singers too. They none of them be missed. They none of them be missed. All traffic wardens, bankers, men who sell Venetian blinds, all advertising chappies and Australians of all kinds, and nasty little editors whose papers are the pits, who fill their rags with gossip and with huge and floppy grits, and girls who sell the stories of the Tories they have kissed, but you must have got the gist. There's none of them been missed.
You may put them on the list. You may put them on the list. And then none of them be missed. Then none of them be missed.
bar. It seems that the festivities in connection with my approaching marriage must last a week. I should like to do it handsomely, and I want to consult you as to the amount I should spend on them.
Certainly. In which of my capacities? As First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chamberlain, Attorney General, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Privy Purse or Private Secretary?
Oh, well, suppose we say as private secretary.
Speaking as your private secretary, I should say that as the city will have to pay for it, don't stint yourself. Do it well.
Exactly, as the city will have to pay for it. That is your advice.
As the private secretary. Of course, you'll understand that as Chancellor of the Exchequer, I'm bound to see that due economy is observed.
Oh, but you said just now, don't stint yourself, do it well.
As private secretary.
And now you say due economy must be observed.
As Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Oh, I see. Come over here where the Chancellor can't hear us. Now, as my solicitor, how would you advise me to deal with this little difficulty?
As your solicitor, I should have no hesitation in saying Chancellor.
Thank you, I will.
If it were not that as Lord Chief Justice, I am bound to see that the law isn't violated.
Come round here where the Lord Chief Justice can't hear us. Now then, as First Lord of the Treasury.
Of course, as First Lord of the Treasury, I could propose a special vote that would cover all expenses. If it were not that as Leader of the Opposition, it would be my duty to resist it tooth and nail. Or, as Paymaster General, I could so cook the accounts that as Lord High Auditor I should never discover the fraud. But then, as Archbishop of Titipu and Chief Rabbi, it will be my duty to denounce my dishonesty and give myself into my own custody as First Commissioner of Police.
That's extremely awkward.
I don't say that all these distinguished people couldn't be square. But it is right to tell you that they wouldn't be sufficiently degraded in their own estimation unless they are insulted with a very considerable bribe.
The matter shall have my careful consideration. But my bride and her sisters are approaching, and any little compliment on your part, such as, say, an abject grovel in a typical Nipponese attitude, would be esteemed a favor.
No money, no grovel.
Parties of school go welcome me, filled to the brim with girlish glee. 3 little nights from school, everything is a source of fun. Nobody's safe, for we care for none. Life is a joke that's just begun.
from school. Three little maids who all unwary come from a ladies' seminary, free for genius to Larry. Three little maids from school, three little maids from school. One little maid is a bride yum-yum, two little maids in attendance come, three little maids is the total sum, three little maids from school. From three little maids take one away, two little maids remain and they don't have to wait very long, they say. Three little maids from school, three little maids from school, three little maids who all unwary come from a ladies' seminary, free for genius to Larry. Three little maids from school, three little maids from school.
At last, my little bride that is to be.
You're not going to kiss me before all these people?
Well, that was the general idea, yes.
Well, it seems a bit odd, doesn't it? It's rather peculiar. Oh, I expect it's all right. Must have a beginning, you know. Well, of course, I know nothing about these things, but I've no objection if it's usual.
Oh, it's quite usual, eh, Lord Chamberlain?
I have known it done.
Why, that's never...
I beg your pardon. Will you kindly present me?
Yes,
One at a time, if you please.
no, shush, shush. This is the gentleman who used to play so beautifully on the Marine Parade.
Sir, I have the misfortune to love your ward, Yum-Yum. Oh, I know I deserve your anger.
Anger? Not a bit, my boy. Why, I love her myself. Charming little girl, isn't she? Pretty eyes, nice hair, taking little thing altogether. Very glad to have my opinion backed up by a competent authority. Thank you very much indeed. Take him away.
I beg your pardon, but what is this?
That is a tremendous swell.
Go away, little girls. Can't talk to little girls like you. Go away, there's dear.
Pooh-Bah, allow me to present my three wards. This is my bride-elect.
What do you want me to do to them? Mind, I'll not kiss them even for cash.
Oh, no, you needn't kiss them. Just a teeny grovelette.
Goes against the grain. How do you do, little girls? How do you do?
That was very good indeed.
I'm not in the habit of saying how do you do, little girls, how do you do to anyone under the rank of a stockbroker.
So please very much regret if we have failed in etiquette. To order the rank so high, we shall know better by and by. But you, of course, must have its fling so pardonous, so pardonous. And don't in girlhood's happy spring be hard on us, if we're inclined to dance and sing la 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 la. But you, of course, must have its fling so pardonous. And don't in girlhood's happy spring be hard on us. But you, of course, must have its fling so pardonous. La 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 la. La 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 la.
I think you ought to recollect you cannot show too much respect to what you had in for few, but nobody does so why should you? That you that us should have in spring is hard on us, to our prerogative we cling, so pardon us, if we decline to dance and sing. La, 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 la,
But you, of course, must have its fling so pardonous. And don't in girls, have its fling be hard on us.
I sought you night and day for 3 weeks in the belief that your guardian was beheaded, and I find you're about to be married to him this afternoon.
Alas, yes.
But you don't love him.
Alas, no.
Modified rapture. But why don't you refuse him?
Oh, what good would that do? He's my guardian, and he wouldn't let me marry you.
But I would wait until you were of age.
You forget that in Japan, girls don't arrive at years of discretion until they are 50.
True. From 17 to 49 are considered years of indiscretion.
Besides, a wandering minstrel who plays a wind instrument outside tea houses is hardly a fitting husband for the ward of a Lord High Executioner.
But shall I tell her? Yes, she won't betray me. What if it should prove that after all I am no musician?
There, I was certain of it directly I heard you play.
What if it should prove that I am no other than the son of His Majesty the Mikado?
The son of the Mikado? Oh! Why is your Highness disguised? And what has your Highness done? And will your Highness promise never to do it again?
Some years ago, I had the misfortune to captivate Katisha, an elderly lady of my father's court. She misconstrued my customary affability into expressions of affection and claimed me in marriage under my father's law. My father, the Lucius Junius Brutus of his race, ordered me to marry her within a week or perish ignominiously on the scaffold. That night, I fled his court, and assuming the disguise of a second trombone, I joined the band in which you found me, when I had the happiness of seeing you.
If you please, I think your Highness had better not come too near. The laws against flirting are excessively severe.
But we're quite alone, and nobody can see us.
Still, that doesn't make it right. To flirt is capital.
It is capital.
And we must obey the law.
Oh, deuce take the law.
I wish it would, but it won't.
If it were not for that, how happy we might be.
Happy indeed.
If it were not for the law, we should now be sitting side by side, like that.
Instead of being obliged to sit half a mile off, like that.
We should be gazing into each other's eyes like that.
Breathing sighs of unutterable love, like that.
With our arms round each other's waists, like that.
Yes, if it wasn't for the law.
If it wasn't for the law.
As it is, of course, we couldn't do anything of the kind.
Not the world.
Being engaged to Coco, you know.
Being engaged to Coco. Were you not to Coco plighted, I would say in tender tone, loved one, let us be united, let us be each other's own. I would merge all rank and station, worldly sneers are naught to us, and to mock my admiration, I would kiss you fondly thus. I would kiss you fondly thus.
But as I'm engaged to Coco, to embrace you thus comes Coco, would this declare me no Coco, and for yum I should get Coco. Coco.
So in spite of all temptation, such a thing I'll not discuss, and on no consideration will I kiss you fondly thus. Will I kiss you fondly thus? Let me make this clear to you, this is what I'll never do.
she goes. To think how entirely my future happiness is wrapped up in that little parcel. Really, it hardly seems worthwhile. Oh, matrimony, thou ship of food. Now then, what is it? Can't you see I am soliloquizing? You've interrupted my interior monologue, sir.
I am the bearer of a letter from His Majesty the Mikado.
A letter? From the Mikado? What on earth could he want with me? It's in Japanese. The Mikado is struck by the fact that no executions have taken place in Titipu for a year, and decrees that unless somebody is beheaded within 1 month, the post of Lord High Executioner shall be abolished, and the city reduced to the rank of a village.
But that would involve us all in irretrievable ruin.
Yes, there's no help for it. I shall have to execute somebody at once. The only question is, who shall it be?
Well, it seems unkind to say so, but as you're already under sentence of death for flirting, everything seems to point to you.
To me? What are you talking about? I can't execute myself.
Why not?
Why not? Because in the first place, self-decapitation is an extremely difficult, not to say dangerous thing to attempt. And in the second, it's suicide. And suicide is a capital offence.
That is so, no doubt.
We might reserve that point.
True, it could be argued 6 months hence before a full court.
Besides, I don't see how a man could cut off his own head.
A man might try.
Even if you only succeeded in cutting it half off, that would be something.
It will be taken as an earnest of your desire to comply with the imperial will.
No. Pardon me, but there I am adamant. As official headsman, my reputation is at stake. I can't consent to embark upon an operation unless I see my way clear to a satisfactory result.
This professional conscientiousness is highly creditable to you, but it places us in a very awkward position.
My good sir, awkwardness of your position is grace itself compared with that of a man engaged in the act of cutting off his own head.
I'm afraid that unless you can obtain a substitute...
A substitute? Oh, nothing simpler. Hubar, I appoint you Lord High Substitute.
I should be delighted. Such an appointment would realize my fondest dreams. But no, at any sacrifice, I must set bounds to my insatiable ambition.
I am so proud if I allowed my family pride to be my guide. I volunteer to quit this sphere instead of you in a minute or two. But family pride must be denied and set aside and mortified and mortified.
My brain it teems with endless schemes, both good and new for Titipu, for Titipu. But if I flit the benefit that I diffuse, the town would lose. Now every man to aid his clan should plot and plan as best he can.
I heard one day a gentleman say that criminals who are cut in two can hardly feel the fatal steel, and so are slain without much pain. If this is true, it's jolly for you. Your courage grew to bid us adieu.
I am so proud.
My brain it teems.
I heard one day a gentleman say that criminals who are cut in two can hardly feel the fatal steel, and so are slain without much pain. If this is true, it's jolly for you. Your courage grew to bid us adieu.
And so, although I'm ready to go, yet recollect what disrespected I neglect to thus effect the same direct. So I object.
And so, although I wish to go, and greatly pine to brightly shine and take the line of a hero kind with 3, 4, 9, I must decline.
And go and show both friend and foe how much you dare. I'm quite aware it's your affair, yet I declare I'd take your share, but I don't much care.
I must.
I take your share, but I don't.
I object.
Your share, but I don't.
I object.
Your share, but I don't.
I object. I object. I object. of silence in a dull, dark dock, in a residential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a chippy chopper on a big black clock. To sit in dull silence in a dull, dark dock, in a residential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a chippy chopper on a big black clock. A dull, dark dock, a lifelong lock, a short, sharp shock, a big black clock. To sit in solemn silence in a residential prison and awaiting the sensation from a chippy chopper on a big black clock.
This is simply appalling. I, who allowed myself to be reprieved at the last moment, simply in order to benefit my native town, am now required to die within 1 month. And that's by a man whom I have loaded with honors. Is this public gratitude? Is this the... Go away, sir, how dare you? Am I never to be permitted to soliloquize?
Oh, go on, don't mind me.
What are you doing with them pills?
I'm about to terminate an unendurable existence.
Terminate your existence? Oh, nonsense, sir. Whatever for?
Because you're going to marry the girl I adore.
Nonsense, sir. I won't permit it. I'm a humane man. If you attempt anything of the kind, I shall order your instant arrest. Come, sir. Desist at once, or I summon my guard.
That's absurd. If you attempt to raise an alarm, I instantly perform the happy dispatch with this pistol.
No, no. This is horrible. Why, you cold-blooded scoundrel. Are you aware that in taking your own life, you're committing a crime, which is... Oh. Substitute.
What's the matter?
Is it absolutely certain that you are resolved to die?
Absolutely.
Will nothing whatever shake your resolution?
Nothing.
Threats, entreaties, prayers, all useless?
All. My mind is made up.
Well, then, if you really mean what you say, and if nothing whatever will shake your determination, and if you are absolutely resolved to die, don't spoil yourself by committing suicide, but be beheaded handsomely at the hands of the public executioner.
But I don't see how that will benefit me.
You don't?
No.
Oh, observe, you'll have a month to live. And you'll live like a fighting cock, at my expense. When the day comes, there'll be a grand public ceremonial. You'll be the central figure. No one will attempt to deprive you of that position. There'll be a procession. There'll be bands, a dead march, bells tolling, all the girls in tears, Yum-Yum distracted. Then, when it's all, over, general rejoicing and a display of fireworks in the evening. You won't be there to see them, of course, but they'll be there just the same.
Do you think Yum-Yum would really be distracted at my death?
Oh, bless you, I'm convinced of it. She's the most tender-hearted little creature alive.
I'd be sorry to cause her pain. Perhaps, after all, if I were to withdraw from Japan and travel in Europe for a couple of years, I might contrive to forget her.
I don't think you could forget Yum-Yum so easily. And after all, what is more miserable than a love-blighted life? True, life without Yum-Yum. Why, it seems absurd.
And yet a good many people in the world have to endure it.
Poor sods, yes. You're quite right not to be of their number.
I won't be of their number.
Noble fellow.
I tell you how we'll manage it. Let me marry Yum-Yum tomorrow, and in a month you may behead me.
No, I draw the line at Yum-Yum.
Very good. If you can draw the line, so can I.
Stop, wait. I mean, be reasonable. I mean, how can I consent to your marrying Yum-Yum if I'm going to marry her myself?
My good fellow, she'll be a widow in a month, and you can marry her then.
Well, yes, I quite see that, but dear me, my position during the next month will be most unpleasant.
Not half so unpleasant as mine at the end of it.
Very well, then. I agree. After all, it's only postponing my wedding for a month. But, look here.
You won't attempt to prejudice her against me, will you? You see, she's been educated to be my wife. She's been taught to regard me as a wise and good man.
Don't worry. She'll never learn the truth from me.
Ask you what you mean to do if punctually appear.
Congratulate me, gentlemen, I found a volunteer.
The Japanese is quicker than a feather.
'Tis Nanky Poo.
Hey, Nanky Poo.
I think he'll do.
Yes, yes, he'll do.
He yields his life if I'll yum surrender. Now I adore that girl with passion tender, and could not yield her with a ready will, or her a lot, if I did not adore myself with passion tender still, with passion tender still.
Oh, yes, he was himself, with passion tender still.
Take her, she's yours.
The threatened cloud has passed away.
Here's the shining day.
All the night may come too soon.
There's yet a wonderful afternoon.
Then there's the throng, the joy of us, sweet laughing song and merriment.
And let the throng our joy our hearts with laughing song and merriment. We laughing song and merriment. We laughing I take a week a month a year.
Eventide comes much too soon.
To live and sleep the honeymoon.
Then there's the throng, the joy of us, sweet laughing song and merriment.
And let the throng our joy our hearts with laughing song and merriment. We laughing song and merriment. We laughing
As in a month you've got to die, if Coco tells us true, 'twere empty compliment to cry long life to Nanky Poo. But as 1 month you have to live as fellow citizen, this toast with 3 times 3 will give long life. Long life to you, long life to you, long life to you, till then.
night you shall rue. In vain for mercy, on your knees you'll sue. I'll tear them off from your disguising.
Now comes the blow.
Prepare yourself for new surprising.
I'll foil my foe.
No minstrel he, despite bravado. I know he's the son of you. In vain you interrupt with this tornado.
Japanese way, why it is I am so much more attractive than anybody else in the whole world. Can this be vanity? No. Nature is lovely and rejoices in her loveliness. I am a child of nature, and I take after my mother. The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty, he scorns to tell a story. He don't exclaim, I blush for shame, so kindly be indulgent. But fierce and bold in fiery gold, he glories all effulgent. I mean to rule the earth as in the sky. We really know I mean to rule the earth as in the sky. We really know observe his flame, that flapping dame, the moon's celestial highness. There's not a trace upon her face of diffidence or shyness. She more as light than through the night, mankind may all acclaim her. And truth to tell, she lights up well, so I for one don't blame her. Pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide moon and I. Pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake. The Yes, everything seems to smile upon me. I am to be married today to the man I love best, and I believe I'm the very happiest girl in Japan.
The happiest girl indeed, for she is indeed to be envied who has attained happiness in all but perfection.
In all but perfection?
Well, dear, it can't be denied that the fact that your husband is to be beheaded in a month is, in its way, a drawback. It does seem to take the top off it, you know.
I don't know about that. It all depends.
At all events, he will find it a drawback.
Not necessarily, bless you. It all depends. I think it very indelicate of you to refer to such a subject on such a day. If my married happiness is to be
Cut short?
cut short in a month, can't you let me forget it? Oh.
Yum Yum in tears. And on her wedding day.
They've been reminding me that in a month he ought to be beheaded.
Yes, we've been reminding her that she ought to be beheaded.
It's quite true, you know. You are to be beheaded.
How some bridegrooms would be depressed by this sort of thing. A month. Well, what's a month? These divisions of time are purely arbitrary. Who says 24 hours make a day?
There's a popular impression to that effect.
Then we will efface it. We will call each second a minute, each minute an hour, each hour a day, each day a year. And at that rate, we've about 30 years of married happiness before us.
And at that rate, this interview has already lasted 4 hours and 3/4.
Yes, doesn't time fly when one is thoroughly enjoying oneself?
That's the way to look at it. Don't let's be downhearted. There's a silver lining to every cloud.
Bertie, let's be perfectly happy.
By all means, let's thoroughly enjoy ourselves.
Her to cry? Quite ridiculous. Brightly dawns our wedding day.
Joyous are we give thee greeting, with a heart not fleeting. Fickle moment, freely stay. Fickle moment, freely stay.
What though mortal joys befallow?
Pleasures come if sorrows follow.
Though the toxins of their gone, these are toxins of their loss of their gone. Yet until the shadows fall and fall,
Merry madrigal,
sing a merry madrigal, sing a merry madrigal.
Go on, don't mind me.
I'm afraid we're distressing you.
No, I suppose I must learn to get used to it. Only please, do it by degrees. Begin by putting your arm round her waist. Let me get used to that first. There.
Oh, wouldn't you like to retire? It must pain you to see us so affectionate together.
No, I must learn to bear it. Now oblige me by allowing her head on your shoulder. Thank you.
Like that?
Yes, I'm very much obliged to you. Now then, kiss her. Ugh. Thank you, it's simple torture.
Come, Vera. After all, it's only for a month.
No, it's no use deluding oneself with false hopes.
What do you mean?
My child, my poor little child, how shall I break it to her? My little bride that was to have been.
Was to have been?
Yes, alas, you never can be mine.
What?
Yes, I've just ascertained that according to the Mikado's decree, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
Buried alive?
Buried alive. But it's a most unpleasant death.
But whom did you get that from?
From Pooh Bah. He's my solicitor.
But he made a mistake.
So I thought.
So I consulted the Attorney General, the Lord Chief Justice, the Master of the Rolls, the Judge Ordinary, and the Lord Chancellor. They're all of the same opinion. I never knew such unanimity on a point of law in my life.
But stop a bit. This law has never been put into force.
Ah, not yet. You see, flirting is the only crime punishable by decapitation, and married men never flirt.
Of course they don't. I quite forgot that. Well, I suppose I may take it that my dream of happiness is at an end.
Darling, I don't want to appear selfish, and I love you with all my heart. I don't suppose I shall ever love anybody else half as much. But when I agreed to marry you, I had no idea I should have to be buried alive in a month.
Nor I. It's the very first I've heard of it.
But it makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does make a difference, of course.
You see, buried alive, well, it's such a stuffy death.
I call it a beast of a death.
You see my difficulty, don't you?
Yes, and I see my own. If I insist on you carrying out your promise, I doom you to a hideous death. If I release you, you marry Coco at once.
Here's how you do. If I marry you, when your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's how you do. Here's how you do.
Here's a pretty mess. In a month or less, I must die without a wedding. Let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess. Here's a pretty mess.
Here's the state of things. To her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion. Burial it brings. Here's the state of things. Here's the state of things.
With a passion that's intense, I worship and adore, but the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If what she says is true, 'tis death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty how you do. Here's a pretty state of things. A pretty state of things.
Here's how you do.
Here's a how you do.
Here's how you do.
For if what I say is true, I cannot marry you. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty how you do.
My poor chap, I'm really very sorry for you.
Thanks, old fellow, I'm sure you are.
You see, I'm quite helpless.
I quite see that.
I can't think of anything more distressing than to have one's marriage broken off at the last moment. But you needn't be deprived of a wedding. You shall come to mine.
That's awfully kind of you, but it's impossible.
Why so?
Today I die.
No, pardon me, I can't permit that.
I can't live without Yum Yum. This afternoon, I performed the happy dispatch.
No, pardon me, I cannot permit that.
Why not?
Why not? Why, hang it all. You're under contract to die by the hand of the public executioner. If you commit suicide, what's to become of me? I shall have to be executed in your place.
It would certainly seem so.
The Mikado and his suite are approaching the city and will be here in 10 minutes.
The Mikado? He's coming to ascertain whether I've obeyed his decree. Now, look here, you know, this is getting serious. A bargain's a bargain. You really mustn't frustrate the ends of justice by committing suicide. As an honest man and a gentleman, you are obliged to die ignominiously at the hands of the public executioner.
Very well, then. Behead me.
What, now?
Certainly, at once.
Chobby-doo, Coco, chobby-doo.
My good sir, I don't go around prepared to execute gentlemen at a moment's notice. Why, I never even killed a blue bottle.
Still as Lord High Executioner.
My good sir, as Lord High Executioner, I have to execute him in 1 month's time. I'm not ready yet. I don't know how it's done. I'm going to take lessons. I'm going to begin with a guinea pig and work my way through the animal kingdom until I come to a second trombone. Why, you don't suppose that as a humane man I'd have accepted the post of Lord High Executioner if I hadn't thought the duties were purely nominal? I can't kill you. I can't kill anyone. I can't kill anything.
Come, my poor fellow. We all have unpleasant duties to perform at times. After all, what is it? If I don't mind, why should you? Remember, sooner or later it must be done.
Must it? I'm not so sure about that.
What do you mean?
Well, why should I kill you when simply making an affidavit that you've already been beheaded will do just as well? I mean, here are plenty of witnesses, the Lord Chief Justice, the Lord High Admiral, Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of State for the Home Department, First Lord of the Treasury, and Chief Commissioner of Police.
But where are they?
There they are. They'll all swear to it, won't you?
Am I to understand that all of us high officers of state are required to perjure ourselves to ensure your safety?
Why not? You'll be grossly insulted, as usual.
Will the insult be cash down or at a date?
It will be a ready money insult.
Well, it will be a useful discipline. Very good. Choose your fiction and I'll endorse it.
Family pride. How do you like that, my buck?
But I tell you, life without yum-yum.
Oh, yum-yum, yum-yum. Bother yum-yum. Yeah, Commissioner, go and fetch yum-yum. Now take yum-yum and marry yum-yum, only go away and don't come yum back here again. Ah, there she comes. Yeah. Yum-yum,
Yes,
are you particularly busy?
not particularly.
Do you have 5 minutes to spare?
Yes.
Then go along with His Grace, the Archbishop of Titipu, and he'll marry you at once.
But if I'm to be married alone...
Don't ask any questions. Do as I tell you. Titipu will explain it all.
Just 1 minute.
Not for worlds. Here comes the Mikado, no doubt to ascertain whether I have obeyed his decree. And if he finds you alive, I shall have the greatest deal of difficulty in persuading him I've already beheaded you. Close thing, that. Here he comes.
Kind of man obedience I expect. I'm the Emperor of Japan.
And I'm his daughter-in-law elect. He'll marry his son, he's only got one, to his daughter-in-law elect.
My morals have been declared particularly correct.
But there's nothing at all compared with those of his daughter-in-law elect. Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
In a fatherly kind of way, I govern each tribe and sect. All Japanese own my sway.
Except his daughter-in-law elect, as tough as a bone, with a will of her own, is his daughter-in-law elect.
My nature is love and light, my freedom from all defect.
Is insignificant quite compared to his daughter-in-law elect. Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
never did inch a man exist. To nobody's second, I'm certainly reckoned a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to make to some extent each evil liver a running river of harmless merriment. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make it prisoner pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. All prosy, dull society sinners who chatter and bleat and bore are sent to hear sermons from mystical Germans who preach from 10 till 4. The abbot Atana, whose vocal villain is all desire to shirk, shall during all hours exhibit his powers to Madame Tussauds waxwork. The lady who dyes a chemical yellow or stains her grey hair puce, or pitches her figure, is painted with vigor and permanent blackberry juice. The hooligan who in railway carriages smashes up window panes, we'll see how he suffers when lashed to the buffers between suburban trains. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make it prisoner pent, unwillingly represent the source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
Object all sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make it prisoner pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
The advertising quack wearies with tales of countless cures. His teeth, I've enacted, shall all be extracted by terrified amateurs. The music hall singer attends a series of masses and fugues and ops. By Bach interwoven with Brahms is his doom's extremely hard. He's made to dwell in a dungeon cell, on a spot that's always barred. And there he plays extravagant matches in fitless finger stalls, on a cloth untrue, with a twisted cue, and elliptical billiard balls. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make it prisoner pent, and willingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
Object all sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make it prisoner pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
I am honored in being permitted to welcome your majesty. I guess the reason for your majesty's visit, your wishes have been carried out. The execution has taken place.
Oh, you've had an execution, have you?
Yes, the coroner has just handed me his certificate.
I am the coroner.
And this is the certificate of his death. At Titipu, in the presence of the Lord Chancellor, Lord Chief Justice, Attorney General, Secretary of State for the Home Department, Lord Mayor and groom of the second floor front.
They were all there, Your Majesty. I counted them myself.
A very good house. I wish I'd been in time for the performance.
Oh, a tough fellow he was, too. A man of enormous strength. His struggles were really terrific. It was really a remarkable scene.
Describe it.
Oh. Well, the criminal cried as he dropped him down in a state of mild alarm. With a frightful, frantic, fearful frown, I bared my big right arm. I seized him by his little kiss curl, and on his knees fell he. As he squirmed and struggled and gurgled and guggled, I drew my snicker sneak. My snicker sneak. Oh, never shall I forget the cry or the shriek that shrieked he. As I gnashed my teeth, when from its sheath I drew my snicker sneak.
He shivered and shook as he gave the sign for the stroke he didn't deserve. When all of a sudden his eye met mine, and it seemed to brace his nerve. For he nodded his head and kissed his hand, and he whistled an edity, as the sabre tool cut cleanly through his cervical vertebrae. His vertebrae. When a man's afraid, a beautiful maid is a cheering sight to see. And it's oh, I'm glad that moment sad forsooth my sight of me.
Now though you'd have said that head was dead, for its owner dead was he. It stood on its neck with a smile well bred, and bowed 3 times to me. It was none of your impudent or canned nod, but as humble as could be. For it fairly knew the deference due to a man of pedigree. Of pedigree. And it's so I vow that deathly vow was a touching sight to see. Though trunkless, yet it couldn't forget the deference due to me.
Yes, all this is very interesting, and I should like to have seen it. But we came about a totally different matter. A year ago, my son, the heir to the throne of Japan, bolted from our imperial court.
Indeed. Had he any reason to be dissatisfied with his position?
None whatever. On the contrary, I was going to marry him. Yet he fled.
I'm surprised that he should have fled from one so lovely.
That's not true.
No.
You hold that I am not beautiful because my face is plain, but you know nothing, you are still unenlightened. Learn then that it is not in the face alone that beauty is to be sought. My face is unattractive.
It is.
But I have a left shoulder blade that is a miracle of loveliness. People come miles to see it. My right elbow has a fascination that few can resist.
Allow me.
It is on view Tuesdays and Fridays on presentation of visiting card. As for my circulation, it is the largest in the world.
And yet he fled.
And is now masquerading in this town, disguised as a second trombone.
As
A second trombone.
Yes. Would it be troubling you too much if I asked you to produce him? He goes by the name of
Nanky Poo.
Nanky Pooh?
Oh, it's quite easy, really. Or to put it another way, it's rather difficult. In point of fact, he's gone abroad.
Gone abroad? His address?
Knightsbridge.
Oh, what's the matter?
See here, his name, Nanki Poo, beheaded this morning. Oh, where shall I find another? Where shall I find another?
Oh, dear, dear, dear. This is very tiresome. My poor fellow, in your anxiety to carry out my wishes, you have beheaded the heir to the throne of Japan.
I beg to offer an unqualified apology.
I desire to associate myself with that expression of regret.
We really hadn't the least notion.
Of course not. How could you? Come, my good fellow. Don't distress yourself. It was no fault of yours. If a man of exalted rank chooses to disguise himself as a second trombone, he must accept the consequences. It merely distresses me to see you take on so. I've no doubt he thoroughly deserved all he got.
Oh. We are infinitely obliged to your Majesty.
Much obliged, Your Majesty.
Very much obliged, Your Majesty.
Right, not a bit. Don't mention it. How could you tell?
No, of course, we couldn't tell who the gentleman really was.
It wasn't written on his forehead, you know.
It might have been on his pocket handkerchief, but then Japanese don't carry pocket handkerchiefs.
I forget the punishment for compassing the death of the heir apparent.
Punishment?
Yes. Something lingering with boiling oil in it, I fancy. Something of that sort. I think boiling oil occurs in it, but I'm not sure. I know it's something humorous, but lingering with either boiling oil or... melted lead. Oh, come, don't fret. I'm not a bit angry.
If Your Majesty will accept our assurance, we had no idea that...
Of course.
I knew nothing about it.
I wasn't there.
That's the pathetic part of it. Unfortunately, the fool of an act says compassing the death of the heir apparent. There's not a word about a mistake.
No.
Or not knowing.
No.
Or having no notion.
No.
Or not being there.
No.
There should be, of course.
Yes.
But there isn't. That's the slovenly way in which these acts are always drawn.
Yes.
Never mind. Cheer up. It'll be all right. I'll have it altered. Next session. Now, let's see about your execution. Will after luncheon suit you? Can you wait until then?
Oh, yes, we can wait till then.
Then we'll make it after luncheon.
I don't want any lunch.
I'm really very sorry for you all, but it's an unjust world, and virtue is triumphant only in theatrical performances. See how the fates their gifts allot. For A is happy, B is not, yet B is worthy, I dare say, of more prosperity than A.
Is B more worthy? I should say he's worth a great deal more than A. For A is happy, oh so happy, nothing, 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 ever joyous, ever gay. Happy, undeserving A. Ever joyous, ever gay. Happy, undeserving A. If I were fortune rich, I'm not. B should enjoy A's happy lot, and A should die in misery. That is assuming I am B. But should A perish,
That you did, of course, assuming I am leaving. Should be happy, and still happy, laughing, jumping, nectar-popping, but condemned to die is he. Wretched meritorious fee, but condemned to die is he. Wretched meritorious fee.
Well, until after luncheon then. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Well, here's another nice mess you've got us into. What with your nodding head and the deference due to a man of pedigree.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bald and unconvincing narrative.
Corroborative detail. Corroborative fiddlesticks.
Well, you're just as bad as he is. What with your catching his eye and his whistling an air. It's so like you, isn't it? You must put in your oar.
And how about your big right arm?
Yes, and your snicker sneeze.
Well, never mind about all that now. There's only one thing to be done. Nanky Poo hasn't left yet. He must come to life again at once. Here he comes. Yeah, Nanky Poo, I've got news for you. You've been reprieved.
Oh, but it's too late. I'm a dead man and I'm off for my honeymoon.
Nonsense. A terrible thing has just happened. It appears you're the son of the Mikado.
Yes, but that happened some time ago. Why?
Is this a time for airy persiflage? Your father is here and with Katisha.
My father and with Katisha?
Yes, he wants you particularly.
So does she.
Oh, but he's married now.
My good girl, what's that got to do with it?
Katisha claims me married, but I can't marry her because I'm married already. Consequently, she will insist upon my execution. And if I'm executed, my wife will have to be buried alive.
You see our difficulty?
Yes, I don't know what's to be done.
There's one chance for you. If you could persuade Katisha to marry you, she will have no further claim on me. And in that case, I can come back to life without any fear of being put to death.
I marry Katisha?
I really think it's the only course.
But my good girl, have you seen her? She's something appalling.
Oh, that's only her face. She has a left shoulder blade people come miles to see.
I'm told her right elbow is much admired by connoisseurs.
My good sir, I decline to pin my heart on any lady's right elbow.
It comes to this. While Katisha is single, I prefer to be a disembodied spirit. When Katisha is married, existence will be as welcome as the flowers in spring. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, bring promise of merry sunshine. While we merrily dance and we sing, tra-la, we welcome the hope that they bring, tra-la, of a summer of roses and wine, of a summer of roses and wine. And that's what we mean when we say that a thing is welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do with the case. I've got to take under my wing, tra-la, a most unattractive old thing, tra-la, with a caricature of a face, with a caricature of a face. And that's what I mean when I say or I sing. Oh, bugger the flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, oh, bother the flowers of spring. Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. Katisha!
The miscreant who robbed me of my love. That vengeance pursues. They are heating the cauldron.
Katisha, behold, a suppliant at your feet. Katisha, mercy.
Mercy? Had you mercy on him? See here, you have slain my love. He did not love me, but he would have loved me in time. I am an acquired taste. Only the educated palate can appreciate me. I was educating his palate when he left me. Well, he is dead, and where shall I find another? It takes years to train a man to love me. Am I to go through the weary round again, and at the same time implore mercy for you who robbed me of my victim? I mean, my pupil, just as his education was on the point of completion. Oh, where shall I find another?
Here. What? Katisha, for years I have loved you with a white-hot passion that is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals. Oh, shrink not from me. If there is aught of woman's mercy in your heart, turn not away from a poor, love-sick suppliant whose every fibre thrills at your tiniest touch. True it is that under a poor mask of disgust, I have endeavored to conceal a passion whose inner fires are boiling the oil, boiling the soul within me. But the fires will not be extinguished. They defy all attempts at extinction. And bursting forth all the more eagerly for their long restraint, declare themselves in words that will not be weighed, that cannot be schooled, that should not be too severely criticized. Katisha, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it, darling.
You, whose hands still reek with the blood of my betrothed, dare to address words of passion to the woman you have so foully wronged.
I do. Accept my love, or I perish on the spot.
Go to. Who knows so well as I that no one ever yet died of a broken heart?
You know not what you say. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit, willow, tit, willow. And I said to him, Dicky bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit, willow, tit, willow? Is it weakness of intellect, body, I cried, or a rather tough worm in your little inside?
You stop it!
With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, oh, willow, tit, willow, tit, willow. He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit, willow, tit, willow. And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow. Oh, willow, tit, willow, tit, willow. He sobbed and he sighed and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave. And an echo arose from the suicide's grave. Feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't Willow, Tit, Willow, Tit, Willow. That
'Twas blighted affection that made him exclaim, "Oh, willow, tit, willow, tit, willow." And if you remain callous and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why. Though I probably shall not exclaim as I die, "Oh, willow, tit, willow, tit, willow."
Did he really die of love?
He really did, yeah.
All on account of a cruel little hen.
Yes.
Poor little chap.
Yes, it's a true tale and quite affecting. I knew the bird intimately.
He must have been very fond of her.
Oh, his devotion was something extraordinary.
Poor little chap. And if I refuse you, will you go and do the same?
What? Yes.
Oh, no, you mustn't. Anything but that. Oh, I am a silly little goose.
Well, you are, yes.
And you won't hate me if I'm just a little teeny, weeny, wee bit bloodthirsty, will you?
Hate you? Oh, Katusha, is there not beauty even in bloodthirstiness?
My idea, exactly. There is beauty in the bellow of the blast. There is grandeur in the growling of the gale. There is eloquent applauding when the lion is a-roaring and the tiger is a-lashing of his tail.
Yes, I like to see a tiger from the Congo or the Niger, and especially when lashing of his tail.
Volcanoes have a splendor that is grim, and earthquakes only terrify the doves. But to him who's scientific, there is nothing that's terrific in the falling of a flight of thunderbirds.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbirds.
If that is so, sing Betty down, Betty, it's evident, Betty, our tastes are one. Away we go, and merrily, merry, nor tardily tally till day is done.
There is beauty in extreme old age. Few fancy or elderly enough. Information I'm requesting on the subject interesting is a maiden all the better when she's tough.
True, of this wide dominion, it's the general opinion that she'll last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think?
Oh, yes.
Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic in a ruin that's romantic. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the matter that you mention, I have given some attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed.
If that is so, sing Betty down, Betty, it's evident, Betty, our tastes are one. Away we go, and merrily, merry, nor tardily, tarry till day is done. If that is so, sing Betty down, Betty, it's evident, Betty, our tastes are one. Away we go, and merrily, merry, nor tardily, tarry till day is done. Sing Betty down, Betty, will merrily, merry, nor tardily, tarry till day is done.
little lunch, and we're all quite ready. Have all the painful preparations been made?
Your Majesty, all is prepared.
Then produce the unfortunate gentleman and his two well-meaning but misguided accomplices.
No sooner said than done, sir, for here they are.
Mercy for Coco, mercy for Pity Sing, mercy even for Pooh Bah.
I beg your pardon, I don't think I quite caught that remark.
Mercy, even for Pooh Bah.
Mercy, my husband that was to have been is dead, and I have just married this miserable object.
You've not been long about it.
No, we were married before the registrar.
I am the registrar.
I see. But my difficulty is that as you have slain the heir apparent...
The heir apparent is not slain.
Bless my heart, my son.
And your daughter-in-law elected.
Traitor! You have deceived me!
Yes, you are entitled to a little explanation, but I feel he would give it better whole than in pieces.
Your Majesty, it is true that I stated that I had killed Nanky Poo.
Yes, with most affecting particulars.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic...
Will you
grace-
refrain from putting in your all? Your Majesty, it's like this. When your Majesty says, let a thing be done, it is as good as done, because your Majesty's will is law. Your Majesty says, let a gentleman be killed, and a gentleman is told off to be killed. Consequently, that gentleman is as good as dead. Practically, he is dead, and if he is dead, why not say so?
I see. Nothing could possibly be more satisfactory.
For he's gone and married Yum-Yum. Your anger played very, for all will be merry. I think you had better succumb and join our expressions of glee.
On this subject, I pray you be dumb. Your notions, though many, are not worth a penny. The word for your guidance is mum. You've a very good bargain in me.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. We think you had better succumb. You'll find there are many who went for a penny, who went for a penny. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish, good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish, good fish in the sea. The sea, the sea, the sea, the sea.
The threatened cloud has passed away.
And shines the dawn again.
Though the night may come too soon.
We feel the tears of afternoon.
Then let the joy around with loving song. And let the throng our joy around with loving song and merry dance, with loving song and merry dance, with loving song. May joy and
Thank you.